be a lethal weapon or a means to protect others, yourself, and your loved ones. Hi, my name is Gabriela Munoz. I'm 17 years old. Today I'm going to talk to you about gun control. Gun control is a heavy topic in today's society, and I know that with the right amount of restrictions, we can be able to keep the United States a safe environment where people are able to obtain the items to protect themselves. I have 3 sources to support my speech, with 2 from the Grayson College Library database and 1 from online. So first I'm going to talk to you about how heavy restrictions on weapons is wrong in my opinion, how having less restrictions on firearms and the effects of it, and what solution I plan to approach and how it will affect the people in the future. So first I'm going to talk to you about how heavy restrictions put upon purchasing firearms is wrong. The problem is that there are people and organizations out there who want heavier restrictions put upon when purchasing firearms in the first place, but this causes the citizens of the United States to have more trouble where they can't obtain items to protect themselves. In the years, according to the gun control article, which was edited by Judith S. Bauman and published by Gale in 2001, information provided by the Gale Virtual Reference Library in the years 1993 to 1996, production rates for guns dropped from 2.3 million to just underneath 1 million, which is a 60% decrease. Also, dealerships dropped across the United States. For example, in California, 34 gun dealerships went down to 2, and in New York City, gun dealers gave about 3/4 of gun dealers in New York City gave up their license. Also, in 1994, the assault ban rifle was authorized by Congress, where 19 semi-automatic rifles, different ones, were forbidden from selling in stores. This also caused the production rate of guns to decrease. Now I'm going to talk to you about why the effect of having less restrictions on firearms is a good thing. It is good because the citizens of the United States will be able to protect others and themselves and their loved ones. NRA is one of the states that, NRA is one of the groups that defends anti-gun control, and it states that for every year there are 2.5 million cases where guns are used in self-defense. And this helps the police force because they can't always be in the same place at the same time. According to the con argument number 3 in the article, should more gun laws be enacted in the United States, which was last updated on August 8th, 2017 by the pro-con group, there was a survey done by Pew Research where 56% of women and 61% of men agreed that if heavier restrictions were put upon when purchasing firearms, that would limit the citizens to be able to obtain them to where they couldn't protect their loved ones. Also, it's the person that's the problem, not the gun. It's the person that decides to do certain stuff with the gun. If heavier restrictions are put on guns, crimes will continue anyway. Bad people will still be able to obtain guns in some way. And also, having less restrictions helps to teach other people the right thing to do. Like, for example, parents teaching their kids to use guns for the right thing. Now I'm going to talk to you about what solution I plan to approach and how this will affect the future and the people in it. I feel like we should press back against heavier restrictions like the NRA and Pew Research. And NRA is one of the many organizations that fights back. According to the National Rifle Association article, which was edited by Stanley I. Cutler and written by Bill Aldrich and published in 2003, which this information was provided by Gale Virtual Reference Library. NRA was one of the groups that helped limit Handgun Violence Prevention Act of 1993. They were able to limit this act in the year 2000, and although it took 7 years, they were able to reduce the waiting limit to 5 days and to where it had a federal recording system in check. In my opinion, I feel like these restrictions should be kept the same. They should not be decreased or increased. This way, the good people will still be able to obtain firearms, but bad guys will still have a handicap put upon them. And finally, I'm going to wrap up my speech with a summarization. First, I talked to you about why I think having heavier restrictions on firearms is a bad thing, the effects of having less restrictions on firearms, and the solution I plan to approach and how it will affect the people in the future. I please encourage you all to support this to where we can have the United States be a safer environment and where it will have the people to where they can obtain items to protect themselves and others. Thank you all for listening.